we can report that we have audited 47 counties as of today, the 20th of June 2019. This process has been long coming, started in 2015 with the protests in Lang'ata, Nairobi. The issue of school land grabbing became very aware. We got so many requests. Then Shule Yangu had not even been formed, but then civil society organizations came together and formed the campaign. And since 2017, the first county that was audited was in Gishu County. And out of that process, we were able to title 1,000 public primary and secondary schools. And we learned something from that process, that a lot of the schools, by then in around 2015, there were 29,000 schools, that most of the schools did not have issues of grabbing or encroachment. They just had not been surveyed. They did not have ownership documents, allotment letters had not been planned for. So we realized that going county by county and finding out the status of each school would be a good way to accelerate the process of titling. At that point, we created a loose formation of institutions: National Lands Commission, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Lands, civil society organizations under the Shule Yangu campaign banner, and we began auditing schools. In September last year, we were able to audit 21 counties. And out of that process, we sensitized around 22,000 head teachers on the school titling process. In December of 2018, we were able to issue title deeds to 233 schools in Kisumu and Bondo and Siaya counties, to be exact, Bondo constituency. What we have learned is that this process actually works, because we were able to find out how many schools have legal issues, how many schools are in court, which courts are hearing these issues, and then we are able to mobilize communities of support for those head teachers, so that every time they go to court, we mobilize media, we mobilize communities, so that those teachers do not stand on the dock alone in the fight to protect public school land. It has also now come to 47 counties audited. Today, we stand at 33,000 public primary and secondary schools. The number of schools being registered and being built keeps on increasing, but the land reserved for public schools continue reducing, because right now, an emergent challenge has been land reserved for public schools is already being grabbed and encroached upon. And so we are calling on alumni communities, all the boys and girls, to fundraise, to come back and take an interest in communities, to begin fencing off schools, fencing off public land that is reserved for schools, so that by the time our resources, the national government is able to build schools, there will be land enough to construct the number of schools. Remember, population keeps rising. Through the free primary education, free tuition for secondary education, the enrollment numbers keep growing. The infrastructure for public schools need to keep pace to be at that high standards, according to the international standards for provision of basic education, that the children of Kenya will continue to learn in safe environments. They do not have to go and protest grabbing of public school land. Head teachers do not have to spend time in city hall offices, lands offices, court, fighting for school land. They can instead use those time to mentor children, manage schools, ensure the curriculum is implemented to the right quality and to the right level for the betterment of education. The right to play, the right to recreation, the right to education, they're all guaranteed in both the Kenyan Constitution and international statutes to which Kenya is a signatory to. These values and the value of active citizenship are what have driven the Shule Yangu campaign to achieve these results. And we are hoping now that the audits have been completed in 47 counties, where we stand right now with around 9,900 public schools titled. We are hoping now that the audits have been completed, we can achieve at least by the end of 2019, 15,000 public school lands titled. And then we continue working with those ones that have diverse issues, those ones that need to be discharged from loans that are under the Director of Settlement, those ones that need to be surveyed that are under the Director of Survey with the Ministry of Lands, those that need to be adjudicated upon, so that those specific schools that have different issues, those that are in court, that are undergoing litigation, can be fast-tracked to catch up, so that in the next 2 or 3 years, there shall be no issue of a public school being built on land that is not titled for public school. Public schools need to continue existing and remaining for the public good, and they need to be safeguarded from interest from private sector. Although they do great work in supporting the provision of quality education, the place of public education in Kenya it has to be protected, and it's sacrosanct, because we have seen that it produces and it continues to serve Kenyans and create an equal platform through which Kenyans can learn, whether from rich backgrounds, poor background, marginalized areas, they can all find a place in public institutions. We need to keep them safeguarded and remain useful for that purpose.